Hey, but let's start in the big one, man. The best setting, arguably, in all of college football is the Triple R, the Red River Rivalry. Texas State Fair, 50-50 crowd. You could, game day, big noon kickoff, everybody, you could feel the energy from states away. It felt like leading up to this game. And every single play during this game had this massive make or break. You've made it, you've lost it sort of feeling. It's just one of those epic clashes. And in the end, take a bow, Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners. I was a massive Venables doubter, okay? And so I got to eat a lot of crow here. And I spent all offseason talking about how we have nothing to fall back on. He's never been a head coach before. The defense was so awful last year. Well, everything's turned around for the Sooners. The defense was great. Dillon Gabriel played great, making plays clutch when it mattered, surviving a late lead change in which Texas takes the lead. I mean, you're up 27-17 to start the second half. It looks like you have the game in hand, and then slowly over the second half, you watch it erode with a minute left. All of a sudden, you're down 3. What does OU do? Mental toughness, physical toughness. Dillon Gabriel finds a way, drives out, puts him in the end zone, and the Sooners reign supreme. Sarkisian and the Longhorns in shambles, and all of the because that's what I kept accusing Oklahoma fans of doing mental gymnastics all offseason, right? To cover up their insecurities, and they got the guy wrong. Well, now there's no gymnastics needed, okay? It's clear they got the right guy. They can feel validated. They can feel celebrated. So congratulations if you are an Oklahoma Sooner. The program appears to be just fine.
And I'll say this first, and I'm not here to defend Texas by any means, but Texas is still – and both teams, obviously Oklahoma more right now, being undefeated, are clear paths to the playoffs for both teams. Like, this is going to be the rematch. I think you and I can both agree on that at least. Like, you look at the remaining schedule for Texas and Oklahoma, they're going to rematch in the Big 12 championship game. Winner will move on to be one of the final 4 teams in the playoffs. Like, that's how good both teams are, and that's how down the Big 12 is. And I'm excited for a rematch because yesterday's game, like that first quarter, was one of the craziest first quarters I've ever seen. From interceptions to block punts to going to the fake punt, all that. Like, it was an epic football game that I wish I could see that type of football game each and every weekend. It was awesome. And same thing. Congratulations, Oklahoma, to their fan base, to Venables, to Dillon Gabriel. I'll admit I'm wrong because my Twitter mentions were getting blown up yesterday by a bunch of Oklahoma fans. So let me just get it out of the way. Like, you had to eat crow about Texas a few weeks ago. Oklahoma, I was wrong. Dillon Gabriel under pressure in a big time game, was the difference. And I want to start with the quarterback position first, T-Bob, because it's my position.
Yeah, well, I mean, you should.
It's funny. My brother, we were at the Georgia game last night. And I don't know if my brother really watched the Texas OU game because he kind of pulled up the stat line. He goes, man, Quinn Ewers was 31 of 37 for 346. Like, what was wrong with Texas? I was like, well, the first quarter, he looked like he was still asleep. Like, he kind of had the look in his eyes of, like, we always make fun of Eli Manning for that, like, dazed, confused, like, I'm lost look. Like, I was looking at Quinn Ewers saying, he's not in this right now. The game's happening too fast. He looks asleep. And that was one of the big difference makers for Texas in losing this football game. You can't have 3 turnovers in a game like that. 2 interceptions and a fumble. And that's a major issue. Flip it over to the other side. Oklahoma, no turnovers in the games. Like, was Quinn horrendous? No, he turned it around the second half. I thought he played a good second half, but still in a close game like that, it's going to come down to turnover battles. You lost that. You were not the better quarterback in that game. And then Dillon Gabriel, who I sent a video out, I think last week on Twitter about he had a goal line run where he trucked the linebacker.
Yeah.
He's 6 foot, 205 pounds. Dillon Gabriel plays the game like he's 6'3", 6'4", 230. The way he runs, the way he puts his body on the line. And that was the difference on that side of the football. Him in big time moments making plays with his arm, but more times than not, him taking off and running, to me, was one of the most impressive things. I knew he was athletic. Did you see his
final stat line?
Yeah, 113 yards rushing, 285 yards passing, 2 total touchdowns, no turnovers.
Yep.
He put the team on his back over and over again. That was the difference. Like, Quinn Ewers, I still think it's a better prospect when it's all said and done. but Dillon Gabriel was by far the better quarterback in that football game, and that's the biggest difference. And then red zone issues. Texas 3 times in the red zone, only 3 total points. Oklahoma was 6 for 6 inside the red zone. Turnovers, red zone efficiency is the difference in a 4-point game.
Well, so a couple thoughts here. First, it is so rare to win a game like this in which you allow a punt block to be scored for a touchdown against you. Like against really good teams that are really even match, that's never supposed to happen. So let's score a couple of extra tallies in the toughness department for Oklahoma. And remember, we called this game, Aaron. Remember, it's not crazy. I think like I don't know if how we're talking about makes it sound this way, but I feel like the feeling from a lot of people was, wow, Oklahoma really won that game. Remember, this was a robot versus human game. Like ESPN's FPI, the game predictor, gave Oklahoma a 57% chance of winning this game. Dillon Gabriel was the better quarterback on paper. Oklahoma had the better numbers. It was just that we thought that and Texas' resume was better, and we thought they looked better on film in the trenches. And so we kind of thought, oh, well, okay, the numbers are just a little juice for Oklahoma not playing anyone. No, Oklahoma's damn good. They look complete in every phase of the game. But so did Texas. Like, I know, because it's funny, I spent all offseason crapping on both of these teams, right? Yeah. So I have been both wrong about them, and now I feel like some people are expecting me to maybe come out and be like, I told you about Sark. Losing this game is not why Texas has been a laughingstock the last decade. Okay, like I don't care about this game. It's the other teams, and plus, because like you said, if Texas is who we think they are and they take care of business, this should just be the first of 2 matchups.
Like I'm not dropping Texas outside the top 10. We've had them at 1 for the past 2 weeks. They've I think part to do with the resume, and they have a hell of a roster. I still have just as much faith
in there, dude. Told you we should have put OU in there last week, and you said no. And you said no. You shut it down.
You know what the most impressive thing to me too, besides the quarterback for Oklahoma, was the offensive line. Like, and Texas's D line is one of the best in the country. Yeah. But for Texas to only have 5 TFLs and 1 sack in the game, and I think a little bit it goes to the quarterback play and the overall scheme. Like, Dillon's great at getting the ball out now. Getting the ball out, not holding on to it. Which really frustrates everyone. And then obviously his running ability too. So
who's the OC at Oklahoma, Aaron? Do you know?
Oh, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Because
Jeff Lebby. Okay. I don't know why. Quick play, but like
it's weird.
That was the area that I was most concerned about. Like, can this offensive line hold up? And they had the better game when it came to protecting their quarterback and giving up less TFLs. And once again, I think a lot of it is schematically. Like, Texas wants to push the ball vertically down the field. There's more of a trust with their receivers and obviously their quarterback with the bigger arm. That doesn't really play in once again Dillon's game, but that's still a tough challenge. And that place was rocking. Like, when you were on your opposing side of the field, you could feel it through the TV. Cool. And that's when it's loud. Like, when I can feel it through the TV, you're like, damn, that ain't fun to play in as a quarterback.
It just makes me it makes me so happy that they still do it in the old Cotton Bowl and everything else. It's just so you can feel just the history and generations past of Texas and OU fans and sat in those same seats and went just as crazy for, 50 years, 70, 80, whatever, however long it's been. But again, okay, so like Texas fans, you're fine. Yeah, Ryan says college football is all about. I agree. Texas fans, like, you're fine. Okay. Yep. And again, I'm not victory lapping on Sark or anything like that here. The problem is Texas of the past would lose to one of these upcoming games, like a Houston or a Kansas State or a Texas Tech, like somebody at TCU. Like, none of these teams are good this year. Texas of the past would trip up and fall. Let's see what Texas now does, because if you get that rematch, I actually always give the advantage to the team that lost the first one. Yeah, just psychologically.
And I still think Texas is the better football team too. I feel like if they played 10 times,
that's a take, Bo. That's a take.
I do think they're the better football team.
Hold on now. Texas got a punt block for a touchdown and did not win the game.
Yeah, but they also turned it over 3 times.
But that's what Oklahoma does. Oklahoma came into this game with
the defense was great.
Oklahoma came into this game leading the nation in picks. Like that's what at a certain point we have to give Oklahoma
I will
credit
say right
for
now,
the numbers on paper being real.
Oklahoma's a good team. Oklahoma's going to be 12-0. They'll be 12-1. And hell, who knows what the hell's going to happen in college football this year? Like maybe that game is the same game and you flip the scores and it's 34-30 Texas wins and the Pac-12 just cannibalizes itself. Florida State and the ACC, maybe something happens kooky there. Maybe you get Texas, Oklahoma in the damn playoffs. I don't know. Like right now, I still believe Texas is one of the best teams in America. And the fact that Oklahoma beat them, to me, means that obviously Oklahoma is one of the best teams in America at the moment, too. So, like, if you do have two 12-1 teams and that second game is as close as this first game, I think both will have really good cases that, hey, we deserve a shot. I think the one thing going to hold them back is the fact that the rest of their essentially games are this will be Oklahoma's only ranked win when it's all said and done this season.
Forget about a playoff. Buddy.
I know. I'm just saying.
All they need to do is both finish the fight to the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, and I think that's
no slip.
We talk about Texas. You bring it up all the time. Texas being a team that loses games it shouldn't.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
This is a moment for me of were you a bunch of front runners or not? We talked about it with Colorado, and Colorado bounced back. Like, yeah, they lost to USC a week ago. They had a great win last night, but like they showed me some fight in that loss to Southern Cal.
Yeah,
like I want to see Texas take this game, understand that everything is still in front of them, and just dominate the rest of their schedule and get ready for a Big 12 championship game. Like the last thing I want to see is like them go lose next week and the narrative continues of, yeah, you're a bunch of front runners. It's all great when you're kicking ass, but as soon as you get punched in the mouth, you just turn back into that old Texas that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, they should nuke a lot of the teams left on their schedule. I mean, they'll be in a close fight somewhere along the way that's been unexpected, but you just got to come out of it on top.